Now, the reason I've given you this history lesson is that in doing so, you've hopefully already learned most of what you need to know about how teleprompters work and about the two dominant types of modern teleprompters, and that is to say, camera-mounted and presidential teleprompters. The third type of teleprompter is only a teleprompter in the strictest sense of the word, and if anything is the modern equivalent of the original freestanding teleprompters, and that is a floor or stand-mounted prompter. Let's go into a little bit more detail about each of these three types. The camera-mounted teleprompters work as we've already described, with text being bounced off special glass placed in front of the lens. These are going to be used mainly for pre-recorded videos for speakers, guests, or top-level management that might not be able to attend your meeting or event. They come in all shapes, all sizes, and all weights, so be sure to coordinate with your AV provider to make sure that you're getting the right combination of camera and prompter. With the recent proliferation of tablet computers, a new breed of incredibly lightweight and portable camera mounts are available, making it easier and cheaper to do on-location or man-on-the-street type shots out in the wild. In fact, we're even seeing smartphones getting into the game for ultra-portable prompting on even smaller cameras, making it possible to use a camera-mounted teleprompter just about anywhere you can imagine. Now, as we've already discussed, presidential monitors are a great fit for a live event. Be advised, though, they're almost always used in pairs, one to the left and one to the right of center. And this encourages the speaker to change their focus from time to time and to look at the entire audience. It also allows for clear camera angles right down the center of the room for recording or for projection purposes. Now, although I've seen single presidential prompter used, I have to admit that probably because we're so used to seeing them in pairs, it looked a little silly to me. And instead of looking presidential, it came off looking, frankly, cheap. So probably better off not to use a prompter at that point, and we can talk more about that later. The third type of prompter is the standalone monitor, which can be placed at an angle on the floor, mounted on a stand, or even hung from the rigging points in the back of the room. And these can be used by themselves on smaller shows, but on large hall productions, they're mainly used to supplement presidential monitors by covering the center of the room. Notice in this picture the TV cameras surrounding the giant teleprompter in the picture. Using a camera-mounted prompter of that size would be completely impractical. And at those distances, the viewer isn't going to notice that the speaker isn't looking directly into the camera. When using them by themselves, floor-mounted can be just as good as the presidentials, but it's going to cause the speaker to look down more or appear that they're only talking to the first row of attendees, depending on the placement. The more familiar the speaker is with the speech, they may be able to get away with only glancing down at the monitors from time to time just to keep their place in the script. Notice how, though, in this second picture, even the floor-mounted monitors have been placed off-center left and off-center right. And although we can't see it in the picture, I'd be willing to bet that there was a center monitor in the back of the hall. In addition to the main part of the prompter, there's a few additional components I'd like to touch on quickly, and that's namely the software that runs the prompter and the remote control. Because both camera-mounted and presidential prompters require the image to be reflected off of a piece of glass, the original text needs to be reversed. As a result, almost all prompter software has this feature. When using freestanding monitors, this isn't necessary. Also, all teleprompters are going to require a way to stop, start, and manipulate the speed of the text. This is almost always going to be some kind of hardware device that the teleprompter operator is using. Make sure whatever company you're using or is providing your teleprompter, they include both the hardware and the software required to use it. Make sure you've got everything in the package.